The African sun beat down on the vast savannah. Golden grass swayed in the wind. Acacia trees stood tall, casting long shadows. This was the kingdom of countless creatures, big and small, predator and prey. The air hummed with the buzz of insects and the calls of birds. Each day was a struggle for survival, a delicate dance between life and death. The animals knew the rules of the game. They respected the power of the strong. They admired the cunning of the weak. Among them lived a hare, known for his wit and agility. He was small but clever, always one step ahead. His senses were sharp, his instincts keen. He knew the secrets of the savannah like the back of his paw. He could disappear into the tall grass in the blink of an eye. He was a master of disguise and deception, a true survivor in a world full of danger. The hare and the hyena met at a watering hole, a rare oasis in the dry savannah. The hyena was thirsty, his tongue lolling out. The hare was cautious, his nose twitching, sensing the danger. They circled each other, sizing each other up. The hare knew he couldn't outrun the hyena. The hyena knew he couldn't outsmart the hare. "Hare, greetings, friend. Care to share a drink?" The hyena was taken aback. He wasn't used to such politeness from his prey. "Hyena, why not?" They drank from the watering hole side by side, a truce declared in the unspoken language of the wild. As days turned into weeks, their unlikely friendship blossomed. They hunted together, the hyena's strength complementing the hare's cunning. They shared their spoils, their differences fading in the face of mutual need. The hyena, used to solitude, found comfort in the hare's company. The hare, always wary, felt a sense of security he had never known before. Together they roamed the savannah, a formidable pair. The hyena's laugh became less menacing, more playful. The hare's tricks became less about survival, more about amusement. They learned to rely on each other, their strengths and weaknesses forming a unique bond. One scorching summer, the savannah was gripped by a severe drought. The watering holes dried up, the grass withered, and the animals struggled to survive. The hare, ever resourceful, devised a plan. He knew of a secret water source hidden deep within a rocky outcrop. He decided to use this knowledge to his advantage. "Hare, my friend, these are dire times. We must find a way to survive." The hyena, his eyes bloodshot from thirst, nodded in agreement. "Hare, I have a plan, but it requires your strength." The hyena, desperate for water, was ready to agree to anything. The hare led the hyena to a patch of dry, cracked earth. "Hare, beneath this ground lies a hidden spring, but it's guarded by a powerful spirit." The hyena, gullible and thirsty, believed every word. "Hare, to access the water we must perform a ritual. You must dig with all your might while I chant ancient words." The hyena, eager to please, started digging without question. The hare, watching the hyena toil under the hot sun, chuckled to himself. He had no intention of sharing the secret water source. He was using the hyena, exploiting his trust for his own gain. This was the hare's nature, clever, cunning, and ultimately self-serving. As the hyena dug deeper and deeper, his thirst grew stronger. The hare, pretending to chant, kept him busy with stories of the powerful spirit guarding the water. He spoke of ancient curses, of trials and tribulations, all designed to keep the hyena digging. "Hare, almost there, my friend. The spirit feels your dedication. Soon the water will flow." The hyena, exhausted but hopeful, dug with renewed vigor. He trusted the hare, believing in his wisdom and arcane knowledge. However, as days turned into nights, the promised water failed to materialize. The hyena, his body aching, started to question the hare's words. He looked at the hare, chanting under the moonlit sky, a flicker of doubt in his eyes. "Hyena, are you sure about this, hare?" The hare, sensing the hyena's growing suspicion, ramped up his performance. "Hare, patience, my friend. The spirit tests our resolve. We must not falter." He knew he had to keep the hyena believing, at least for a little while longer. The hyena, despite his doubts, continued to dig. Driven by thirst, by the hare's promises, and by his own stubborn nature, he wanted to believe the hare. He wanted the water to flow. He wanted to prove his worth. Watching the hyena's unwavering dedication, the hare felt a pang of guilt but quickly brushed it aside. His own survival was at stake after all. He couldn't afford to be sentimental. Knowing the hyena's strength was his only advantage in these harsh times, he decided to use it to his fullest. "Dig deeper, my friend," the hare urged, his voice echoing across the barren landscape. "The water is close, I can feel it." The hyena, his paws bleeding, dug with renewed fervour like a man possessed, blinded by his own desperate need. Realizing he had pushed the hyena too far, the hare knew he needed to tread carefully, to maintain the illusion, without breaking the hyena's spirit completely. As the sun rose again, casting its harsh light on the savannah, the hyena finally stopped digging. Exhausted, his body racked with pain, his mind clouded with doubt, he looked at the deep hole he had dug, a testament to his futile efforts. "Hare," he rasped, his voice barely a whisper, "there's no water here, you lied to me." Taken aback by the hyena's sudden accusation, the hare scrambled to regain control of the situation. "No, my friend," he said, his voice laced with feigned surprise. "You must be mistaken. The spirit is testing us. We must persevere." However, the hyena was no longer convinced. He looked at the hare with suspicion, his trust shattered. Sensing the danger, the hare knew he had to act fast. He had to divert the hyena's attention, to sow new seeds of doubt, to regain his lost control. "Perhaps," the hare said, his voice carefully measured, "we've been digging in the wrong place." He pointed to a nearby patch of ground, his eyes gleaming with cunning. "I believe the spirit has led us astray. We must start anew." The hyena, his mind clouded with exhaustion and thirst, was easily swayed. Desperate for any solution, any hope of finding water, he agreed to dig again, his body protesting with every movement. Relieved to have averted the crisis, the hare watched the hyena resume his labor. He knew he had bought himself some time, but also knew the hyena's patience was wearing thin. He had to find a way out of this predicament, and fast. As the hyena dug, his anger grew. He realized he had been tricked, manipulated by the hare's cunning words. He remembered the hare's sly smile, his evasive answers, his constant promises of water. He felt a surge of betrayal, a deep sense of resentment. The hyena, his mind sharpened by anger, started to piece together the hare's deception. He remembered the hare's reluctance to share his secret water source. He recalled the hare's elaborate stories of spirits and curses, all designed to keep him digging. "You tricked me," he growled, his voice low and menacing. The hare, his eyes wide with fear, tried to deny the accusation. But the hyena was no longer listening. He had seen through the hare's facade. He knew the truth. The hyena lunged at the hare, his jaws snapping shut just inches from his face. The hare, nimble as ever, dodged the attack and disappeared into the tall grass. The hyena, enraged, roared in frustration. He had been fooled, used, and betrayed by the creature he had called friend. The hare, hiding in the undergrowth, knew he had escaped the hyena's wrath for now. But he also knew their friendship was over. He had betrayed the hyena's trust, and there was no coming back from that. The hyena, his thirst unquenched, his anger burning, searched for the hare. He wanted revenge. He wanted to make the hare pay for his treachery. He stalked through the savannah, his keen sense of smell leading him towards the hare's hiding place. The hare, sensing the hyena's relentless pursuit, knew he couldn't hide forever. He had to confront the hyena, to face the consequences of his actions. He emerged from the tall grass, his eyes meeting the hyena's with a mixture of fear and defiance. "You lied to me," the hyena snarled, his voice dripping with venom. "You used me! You betrayed our friendship!" The hare, his voice trembling, tried to explain himself, but his words fell on deaf ears. The hyena was beyond reason. The hyena lunged again, his jaws snapping shut with a sickening crunch. The hare, this time, was not fast enough. He felt a searing pain in his leg as the hyena's teeth sank into his flesh. The hare, yelping in pain, struggled to break free from the hyena's grip. But the hyena was relentless. He had been tricked, and he would have his revenge. He shook the hare violently, his powerful jaws crushing bones, tearing flesh. The hare, his lifeblood staining the dry earth, knew his time was up. He had been clever, cunning, and ultimately foolish. He had betrayed the one creature who had trusted him, and now he was paying the price. The hyena, his anger spent, dropped the hare's broken body onto the ground. He looked at his former friend, his eyes filled with a strange mixture of regret and satisfaction. He had avenged his honor, but he had also lost a companion. The hyena, his thirst still gnawing at him, limped away from the scene of the confrontation. He was alone again, his trust shattered, his spirit broken. He had learned a harsh lesson about the dangers of believing too easily. The hare's trickery had cost him his life. He had been too clever for his own good. He had underestimated the value of trust, the importance of honesty. His cunning had led him to a tragic end. The hyena, despite his brute strength, had been vulnerable to deception. He had been too trusting, too eager to believe. He had learned a painful lesson about the fragility of friendship. The savannah, as always, remained indifferent to their plight. The sun continued to beat down, the wind continued to blow, the cycle of life and death continued to play out. The tale of the hare and the hyena served as a cautionary reminder to all creatures, big and small. Trust was a precious commodity, easily broken, difficult to repair. Dishonesty, no matter how clever, ultimately led to ruin. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and red, the savannah grew quiet. The animals retreated to their dens, seeking shelter from the approaching night. The story of the hare and the hyena was passed down through generations, a tale whispered in hushed tones around flickering campfires. It served as a reminder of the delicate balance between strength and cunning, trust and betrayal, friendship and solitude. The African wilderness, unforgiving and majestic, continued to teach its inhabitants valuable lessons about life, death, and the consequences of their actions. The cycle continued, the sun rose and set, and the animals played their roles in the grand tapestry of nature. And so the tale of the hare and the hyena became a legend, a fable woven into the very fabric of the savannah, a story that echoed through the ages.